All right, everybody. Happy Monday. Start of another week. Another round of cuts coming up. By Tuesday, the Seahawks need to have their roster down to 80, not counting Aaron Donkor. So we need to cut from where we were right before the Broncos game started. We need to cut 5 players. So another round of cuts, and then we have the big round of cuts after the Chargers game next week. So got some decisions to make, but not as many as we might have expected because we've already made one decision and 2 decisions have been made for us. So let's run it through real quick and then I'll offer up some predictions. So first, Dominic Wood-Anderson has been waived. We decided we weren't even going to bother waiting until Monday, much less Tuesday. We just decided yesterday, let's get him out of here. And I'm not even memeing when I say this. I'm not even joking around. I thought that dude was going to start crying on the field. He looked so lost and couldn't get anything going his way. That whole game, the whole preseason, like nothing could go right for him. And when things went wrong for him, they went wrong in ways that everybody in the stadium could see. So, mercifully gone. So, Dominic Wood-Anderson is one of your 5 cuts this week. Let's go ahead and get him out of here. Move the other tight ends over. And on the injury front, we also got some unfortunate news about John Ursua. The knee injury he suffered last night is 2 nights ago, is a season-ending ACL tear. So his season is over. He goes on the injured list. He makes a little bit of money, I think, because of the way injury settlements work, but he will not be on the practice squad this year as I projected that he probably would be. So we can clear him out of there as well. We'll evaluate how to fill this spot in a second here, but the other guy would be Ben Burr-Kirven. We have still not received word on Ben Burr-Kirven, but I feel very confident in saying he's about to go on IR as well. Even if he could come back later this season, we don't have the roster spot to wait on it, and I feel very confident that he's probably out as well. So we're taking him out. So, as for what we do now, the first question to answer is, do we need to bring in replacements for Ursua and BBK? So let's start with Ursua. I feel like the answer is probably no, because I thought Ursua was a borderline practice squatter as it was, and I feel like Cody Thompson has been getting enough positive attention in training camp and made a couple of decent plays in preseason to where I actually think he just takes the spot. So I'm going to move Cody Thompson over here. We're going to shift that back over to blue. We're going to stretch this out a little bit. And yeah, I'm going to say he actually ends up making the roster. So yeah, I feel like you just shuffle things around a little bit back here and you're still feeling pretty good about where you are. The top 5 receivers, it's a pretty good unit. And then you've got 3 guys on the practice squad who, at the worst, have shown the ability to play against reserve defensive backs. And in the case of Cade Johnson and maybe Aaron Fuller, have some actual NFL upside to them. So I think Ursua is relatively easy to replace. So I don't think you need to go out to get somebody to replace him. Now, BBK, it's a little bit harder, because I do feel like you need another backup linebacker to replace him. And while Cody Barton has impressed through 2 preseason games, and while I do think Cody Barton could shift to being the backup middle linebacker, that might actually be better for his skill set, you need another backup linebacker. And it doesn't have to be a great guy. That's why I'm not really into the KJ Wright thing, because whoever you bring in to replace BBK is just going to take BBK's role. Ben Burr-Kirven did not play in the defense. He played on special teams basically exclusively. I don't want to bring in KJ to do that. So if you take a look at the practice squad, you've got John Radigan, who has been in and out with an injury so far in training camp. And you got Aaron Donkor, who has a free practice squad spot, so you don't really want to call him up because you're going to lose the 17th practice squad spot if you call him up. So does that mean that Lakiem Williams, who has actually played a couple of pretty decent preseason games, is he your guy? Does he dance through the raindrops and end up picking up the roster spot, or do we bring in somebody? I'm going to go ahead and give Lakiem Williams the nod for the moment, and we'll see if I end up being right or not. But anybody you bring in to replace BBK is not going to be that much better than Lakiem Williams, and Lakiem Williams has a little bit of experience in the defense, so sure, let's give it to him for now and see how things pan out. All right, so that's out of the way, and I was able to replace those two players without bringing in anybody new, so the equation has been simplified a little bit. Now we only have to cut 2 players because three of the decisions were either already made or made for us. So who's it going to be? Who's out of here? Who's going to get cut? Looking at this list of players, I feel like likely candidates include one of the 2 quarterbacks. Both these guys, on the one hand, Sean Mannion clearly looked better against the Broncos. But on the other hand, we might like Magoo on the practice squad more because he has a little bit more of a live arm, and we feel like that'll work a little bit better with developing receivers. So Magoo or Mannion could be on the outs. Travis Toivonen, whatever. Hopefully it's him so I can stop butchering his name. I kind of feel bad for him if he ever hears my videos because I don't know how to pronounce his name. He made a nice catch against the Broncos near the end of the game, but even with Ursua's injury, I think we're pretty well set at receiver, and I like Derice a little better than Toivonen anyway, so it could be him. I think Tchangam could be out as well. Hewitt actually made a play against Denver, so that might push him ahead of Tchangam on the depth chart. And there's also Moon. I think that with Jamal signing that contract, you don't need to keep Moon around anymore. And I feel like we like Sunderland and Crosswell a little bit better. So I am going to say the 2 cuts this week. I'm just taking a shot here. And we may know who the cuts are very soon here after I upload this video. We may know it in a handful of hours. We might not know it until tomorrow. I'm going to say Alex Magoo, who might still be the practice squad guy when we set the practice squad next week. But I'm going to say Alex Magoo. And then I'm going to say Tchangam. That would be my guess. There are a couple other guys who are logical cut candidates, but those would be my 2 picks right now. Magoo, Tchangam, and my backup pick would be Moon. And let me know what you guys think down below. I'm going to get out of here. Peace out, go Hawks. Condolences to Ursua and BBK, who I think both were going to make the team in some capacity this year and are now going to be trying to nurse their way back to health in time for 2022. All right. See you guys later. I'll talk about the cuts when they happen, but that's what we got so far. Go Hawks.